people at the grassroots have suffered long negligence, and it is enough. The government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is here to right the wrongs of the past and put the country on a high pedestal among Committee of Nations. This is why any attempt to sabotage the effort will be confronted headlong and given deserved treatment. The local government chairmen and councillors should not forget the governors have immunity, while they don't, that is, local government officials don't. So they have to choose between dealing with the funds of the local governments as they like and risking going to jail. The choice is absolutely theirs. If they want to tamper with the funds and end up in jail, it is their choice. Or if they want to write their names in letters of gold, activities like construction or upgrading of roads, schools, hospitals, etc. must return to the local government. Life must come back to local government.
Well, that is the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, who seems to have made it his life's mission that local governments be autonomous within this particular regime. And that's what we're focusing on this morning. We've seen how within this year, 2024, state governments have now been forced to conduct local government elections, because if they do not do so, there will be no allocation to local governments within their territory. And so we have seen a number of local government elections conducted, local government chairmen elected or selected, if you like. And we've also seen some controversy around local government allocation and their funds. For instance, in River State, where the local government chairman funds were withheld, the Supreme Court ruled that it was illegal to do so. In Edo State, where the governor has just been elected, local government chairmen, 18, all of them, there's 18 local government chairmen were suspended for 2 months. The Attorney General has come out very strongly to say that that is an illegal move and that is not allowed. Yeah, he says it is illegal and it is unconstitutional. So that's what we're looking at this morning. How is it that we can let our local governments function? Because a lot of people say all the development we talk about should be done at the local level, and that if the local governments work, then our country will begin to move in the right direction. Joining us this morning is Mr. Anwar Rafsanjani, who is the Executive Director of the Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, is joining us via Zoom all the way from Gombe. Mr. Rafsanjani, compliments of the season to you and welcome to Sunrise Daily.
Thank you very much and good morning, Nigerians.
Well, we have watched all of the drama through the year around local government autonomy. We've seen the push by the Attorney General looking for interpretation of certain sections of the Constitution at the level of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court being uncompromising and finding a middle ground. And now we're looking at the implementation of what autonomy will mean. From what you have seen, that battle to get autonomy recognized and implemented, where will you say we're at in terms of understanding what local government autonomy really means?
Thank you very much. I think, let me say that the Attorney General position that he took is a very good one, in the sense that it is important for those local government chairmen to understand that if they allow any state governor to use them or misuse them, they will be the one to pay the consequences. If there's any diversion, misappropriation, or looting or stealing of these funds that come to their local government, as the chief executive of those local government and the people who have signed and approved withdrawal of this money, they must answer, whatever the law says. So therefore, it is important to caution them. It is important to also advise them and let them know that they are responsible for management of these resources, and if they allow anybody to intimidate them to take this money, they will answer the consequences of that. So that's number one. Number two, for us to successfully, have this autonomy and implement this, there must be constitutional amendment to deal with ambiguous issues within the between the governors and the local government roles and responsibility. As it is now, the Constitution allows governors to make law for local governments. And that is where the trouble is. Many of them have clearly, like Anambra State, they have clearly made or amended the law to enable them to continue with the joint account between the local government and the state government. Until when we have a proper national conversation, debate, discussion, and agree on how to minimize this excessive power of the governors, we will not be able to realize the autonomy that we are looking for the local government. Thirdly, if we continue to leave local governments to only people who probably are the cronies of the governors and competent, qualified, experienced, people with impeccable characters are not participating in the local election, then we will not be able to have the kind of quality personnel that can stand on their feet and be able to do the work for the people. So we must push for constitutional amendment to further strengthen the local government as it is. Even though the Supreme Court has issued this, but you still have some of these lacunas, some of these lapses that the governors can actually still use to continue to collect this money directly or indirectly. Secondly, if we did not also, do something around the issues of electoral integrity at the local government level, at grassroots level, it will be extremely difficult for us to realize this local autonomy that we are talking about, and particularly with view to bring in grassroots development. Because if Nigerians are not looking at local government as a very important arm of government and therefore participating in the local government election and politics there and governance generally, then it will be extremely difficult for us to see the dividend of this long, struggle that we have all made to have financial autonomy for the local government. So therefore, in my opinion, for this local government autonomy to be effective and efficient, Nigerians, must be interested in what goes on in the local government. If you just don't have interest and you are only focusing on federal government or focusing on the state without paying attention on what goes on at the local government level, given these huge resources that they have at their disposal, we may not be able to realize the development that we envisage to have by giving them financial autonomy and by ensuring that this election also took place. So it was a good development that we actually have this election. No matter how shambled they are, no matter how bad they are, it is better than those ones that are being appointed by the governors. Now you know that you are elected and you must be responsible. You do not have what the governors have, or the deputy governors, or the
immunity.
President or vice president, the immunity. So if you squander the money, you will know that you can be actually, ICPC will deal with you, if there's any substantial evidence to show that you have misappropriated or looted this money. So it is in your interest, and that is why the Attorney General caution is very, very important for them to listen, to understand, so that they don't think that they will have the cover. No governor can protect them. So, and that is why Nigerians must be interested to be participating, to be voting, to be asking questions. If you sit down and be voting, and then when the looting has happened, then you start shouting, then we will not be able to correct anything, and we will not be able to do any development that we will want our people to benefit. We cannot be spending this huge amount of money, yet the hospitals are dilapidated, the primary school are dilapidated, there's no any road that links the farms, with the city center or with the market. You need to have a proper blueprint as a local government chairman. What are you going to do to uplift people at the grassroots level from the artificial poverty that political elite in Nigeria have all put Nigerian people in it? So as a local government chairman, you need to have a blueprint. You cannot just simply sit down there and be just dashing out money anyhow, contributing, PEC, donation, because this is what also they do. They all give PEC donation to all sort of, questionable, groups and organizations and even agencies.
I want us to be able to talk a little bit about some of the recent issues that are being raised about local government autonomy. First of all, FAC allocations to local governments between July and December of this year was 2.08 trillion naira. But there's a research that says that that money wasn't paid to local governments directly, that the money was still paid to the state government accounts. Now, for the people who did that research, they say a question was posed to the Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Odun, and he says this, it was due to practical, I'm going to use his words, practical impediments. Now, Algon Secretary General, that's Mohammed Abubakar, said those local government accounts should be opened and said they submitted that request to the Accountant General. So, based on this story, and it's been going on for a few days, why do you think these local government accounts have not been opened, and what kind of practical impediments could stop these accounts from being opened, even though they have been granted the financial autonomy by the Supreme Court?
So federal government must be honest and sincere on this issue. And they also need to dismiss, the allegation that many Nigerians are doing that there must be a hidden agenda to this, so that, still certain control, are going to be imposed on the local government, despite the fact that they have, this autonomy. I think federal government, if they were prepared for this, they would have already, after the election, they would have asked for authentic accounts with the signature of the relevant, authorities in each of the local government in Nigeria and send that money to them. There's no need for you to continue to be giving this money to the governors, because the allegation is that some governors have done some lobbying, and that this explains why the money is still going to some of those governors. And if this is true, then it means that the government determination, or the Tinubu administration determination to ensure local government autonomy, it will, be tantamount to some assaulting, if this is the case. So, but I want to believe that now that Nigerians have exposed what has happened by sending this money still to the governors, I want to believe that the federal government will wake up and do the needful. And now that we have elected officials in each of the local governments in Nigeria, there's no reason to continue to, do what you used to do, what you raised concern before. And with the Attorney General also, cautioning them, it means that they should also know that they have responsibility, and they should be given that, opportunity, so that we can actually believe in government. You see, one of the major problems we have in Nigeria is that one government sometimes says something, they do something different. And that is creating mistrust. And that is why some people don't take, whatever comes out from the government official serious. This should not be the case. We should be able to trust our leaders. We should be able to respect them. But if they don't do the right thing, then the citizen will find it extremely difficult to also trust them or to respect them. So it is a clerical call for our public official to always be honest, sincere, and do the right thing, so that Nigerians can believe them. Nigerians can actually have trust in whatever they are doing. It's not nice that you have government at local, state, and national level. The citizens don't believe in them. They see them as liars. They see them as thieves. They see them as all sorts of negative things. This should not be the case. We should be able to rebuild our country and have trust on one another. The citizens should be able to trust their official. The government should be able to have interest of the people, not their own pocket, not their own, political agenda. If you are able to deal with this, then I'm sure Nigerians and Nigeria will move forward from the suspicion and from the nepotism, from the ethnic chauvinism and religious cover that some people are using to continue to undermine the country's progress. We need to do something. And
that's that deficit, Mr. Rafsanjani. It's a very important point there. But I'm going to ask you, as the executive director of CISLAC, I know that you look a lot into local government autonomy. This is something that you've been speaking about since this Supreme Court judgment was given. Several interviews you've done after that. Does CISLAC believe that there is a plan to scuttle the implementation of this Supreme Court judgment?
Well, I think it's not just about CISLAC. CISLAC is just one organization. It's not really what the views of the people, the perception of majority of Nigerians is what matters here, not really one organization. I think for governments to dismiss this suspicion or allegation or mistrust, government need to do the needful. Government need to come clean and clear. Tinubu is known to be a very bold person. On this matter, let him also come out to be bold on this matter so that Nigerians can actually have confidence in him. Nigerians can also trust that, okay, when he says something, he mean it. I think, for me, if government comes out to do that, then government can scuttle the suspicion or the allegation or the perception or the mistrust that Nigerians are having right now. Because after Supreme Court has given this judgment, where should the government, federal government, be sending this money to the governors? Definitely Nigerians are questioning this and they are not happy with this. And the development at the local government that we want it to be upgraded will still not happen if you continue with the order of the yesterday. So it is a good opportunity for Mr. President to actually showcase to Nigerians that he meant what he meant in terms of his reforms toward local government autonomy. And we have constitutional amendment that is supposed to be ongoing. It is a good opportunity to identify lapses that is in keeping or giving impediment to the real...
Mr. Rafsanjani, my apologies for butting in. If you can hear me well, at the end of the day, it all comes down to people. And what the issues you're raising are quite valuable and important as well. The processes, the laws, the constitution and all. At the end of the day, it all comes to people. The Nigerians you're speaking about right now. And then the Nigerians that will run for office. The Nigerians, the chairman of the local government, the councillors, because most of the time people don't even know that the local government administrations also have their own legislature. So at the end of the day, it comes to people. We aren't really talking about the capacity of the Nigerians who will run for office. On the one hand, people have lost confidence in political parties. On the other hand, you can't go into office without being a member of a political party with all of the drama and the politics in it. So where is the middle ground, in your opinion?
In my opinion, that's why at the beginning I said that Nigerians must begin to be interested and participate in local governance. If they don't want to participate in local governance, they don't want to participate in the electoral process at the grassroots level, we will end up with people who are not having the required capacity or the experience or the integrity to be able to provide this governance. And let me tell you, some local governments, they are really big and it constitutes a lot of people who are educated, who are elite, and who should actually be interested in what goes on in their local government. So if they don't participate, we will end up with what we have been getting, having people whose objective or motive is just to come accumulate money and buy houses, buy new cars, go to Umrah, go to Dubai, go to London, go to Germany. That's what will continue to happen. But if you have people who are experienced, who are non-corruptible people, who are interested in grassroots development, who are even interested in democracy in this country, I believe that they should be participating in the local government. It's not just about the state or federal appointment. In fact, you can actually make, more positive input, or you can impact positively on people when you are actually in that local government thing, because there's resources. There are a lot of issues. Agriculture is there. And
there's a lot of work too. A lot of solutions should be coming from the local government levels. This morning, one of the newspapers was talking about the dangers of open defecation and how that 48 million Nigerians could be affected. But one of the concerns that anyone should be looking at right now, particularly around this issue, is that we have a syndrome in our heads already. For decades, there is a way we did things as far as local government administrations are concerned. So how long do you think it'll take? What do you think we need to do to screw it into our heads that things are different legislatively and constitutionally about local government administrations? People don't go out to vote during local government elections, so people don't even think much of it. So now that things have changed and there is a lot more responsibility and impact, direct impact that people can make when they go out to vote, and to even, call the local government chairman to account or local government administrations to account, what are the things that you think we need to do? How do we educate ourselves? How do we communicate to our people that things have changed as opposed to the days of local government administrators?
So actually, it's not just about coming out to vote. After the voting, after the election, do you just watch and see things just happening? No. And that is where we are missing the point in Nigeria. In some places, in some states, when after the election, that is the end of participating in governance, monitoring, and observation and participation. And that is the reason why you don't see the required development in many places, because people just assume democracy is just about, doing the election. After the election, that is it. No, that is actually even the beginning. After the election, you need to participate. You need to, because democracy is about inclusion, it is about participation, it is about actually placing interest and asking the required question or the necessary questions to help support the people that have been elected or appointed there. But if you don't participate by providing useful contribution on how to strengthen the governance itself, no matter, how much you campaign or you participate, you're elected, then that is not going to go anywhere. So your ability as a citizen to ensure that you are interested in what goes on. For example, many state governors have presented budget. In this budget, it is expected that the citizens should actually, play important role by analyzing the budget, point out some of the areas that they think government should actually do through the provision of public hearing. Do you know that in many states, they don't conduct public hearing? And you have so many professors, so many doctors, so many experienced people sitting down watching until when the state is looted, then they start lamenting. No, you have opportunity to raise issue, even though I know that some of the governors, they are very, very dangerous. If you criticize any policy, they can call police to come and deal with you. And because of the collapse of our institutions, police will just come and do whatever, politician asks them to do. We need to change things. If we want this democracy to be sustainable, to be responsible, to be strengthened, and to benefit Nigerian people, our institution must be revitalized to be more effective and efficient, to be more responsible. We must remove personal interest in running our institutions. You cannot use police or use any government institution for your own personal self-centered interest. You need to allow institutions to function so that, like you see in the advanced democracy in the US, even if you are a president, if you are doing something that is wrong, the institution will not support you. But in the case of Nigerian institutions, they have collapsed it to a personalized institution, which is why we are not getting things. When a governor, he can pocket the judiciary. When a governor, he can pocket the state electoral body. When a governor, he can pocket all the legislature at the state. And at the federal level, when the president is the father and mother of everything, irrespective of the fact that each institution has a mandate, constitutional or legislative mandate, to carry out things that is supposed to do in the interest of the nation. If the president wants to scuttle anything, they will follow him. No one would deliver to object it, and that is why we are in trouble. So until we also begin to, strengthen our institutions to make it to be,
Well, Mr. Rafsanjani, I hope that those who are concerned, and even Nigerians, to a generality of Nigerians, will listen to some of what it is that you have said this morning with regards to making our local government work. We have to thank you so much for your thoughts on the issue this morning. Mr. Anwar Rafsanjani is the Executive Director, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, CISLAC, and he joined us via Zoom all the way from Gombe State. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much. I'm in Gombe for a wedding of a friend, so I just come to celebrate with them. I'm going back to Abuja.
Well, thank you so much, and all the best. We wish everyone compliments of the season. We did highlight that today is not just any Friday, but the Friday before Christmas. Please, whatever you do today, take care. Take care of the safety of those around you, and also be aware of security. Thank you so much for watching this beautiful Friday morning. I'm Maupe Ogun Yusuf.
I mean, thank God it's Friday, and just to add to that, a lot of people have been arrested following the incident in Oyo.
Ibadan, yeah.
And so when there are a lot of those kinds of events coming up this Yuletide, so please be careful, check where your children are, and make sure that you stay safe. I'm Kayla Megwa.
All precautions, all necessary precautions, please take. It's the season to celebrate, to be jolly, and not to sorrow. I'm Aya Makinde. Have a beautiful day and a wonderful weekend.